cinematic is that? Looks good. Let me see them nips. Oh God, I knew I was asking for it.
It's like, I'm telling you, it took me hours to think of that, dude. Yeah, dude, like, it's gonna change everything. We're gonna get so many chicks.
That's a nice little dumper.
Damn, it's so hot. Action.
What are you, deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me.
Nurse, I need something for my head. Hello?
Ready?
Okay.
Cut. Or go.
Hold on, wait.
It's hard. My ears are under the water.
Wait for me, you creep. Oh, shit!
I got a Taco Deluxe Supreme talking back at me.
Oh, yeah. Yo, a hermit fight for me.
I think I'm gonna get me one of them sticky buns on the way in.
Now the evil is here. Happy Halloween, bitch.
What do you mean by evil?
You know, like Armageddon, the apocalypse, even Elon Musk.
What do you consider evil?
That! Well, I just told you. Don't you listen?
I spent 8 years trying to reach him.
Thought I heard something. Must have been the rednecks.
That new waitress over at the Bingo Lounge, she can give me the freaky eye.
What, the old hag with the fluffy old tits? Yeah, I hope she likes crickles.
Yeah, and she likes spinach dip too, and she brought it out before your buffalo wings.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'll get after it.
Best of luck to you. I hope she likes cripples.
Bitch, I will scroll over there. Mustache, you killing me, dude.
Rednecks and hermits don't do very well together. We going down the Civil War. I hope she likes cripples.
Bitch, I will crawl over there and I'll skull fuck the shit out of you. I'm all broken up over here. I'm all broken up over here, bitch.
Oh, man. I got peanut butter on my penis.
What happened to you?
Cornhole by gang of skunks.
King of skunks. Dadgummit, I agree on the horse part because I've been hunting a horse for 30 minutes. Down by the river, clear, clear river. Down by the river, clear, clear river. Okay. You better find my crock.
Would you shut the fuck up?
What you say? You bald beast, penis head.
Watch out, there's Dan.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's a dumb question, Miss Grimbridge.
Chet, the bringer of death.
Okay.
That's Chet with 2 T's.
I'm all broken up here, bitch. I can't work.
Big finale.
What?
It does not smell like sardines.
Yes, it does.
It smells like saltines because I eat freaking Vienna sausages with saltine crackers.
What about you?
What? Who? This guy?
Yeah, this guy, whoever. If this are,
I eat saltines. Saltines are good, right? Yeah, this is good. Yeah, what? What did the bother about? Oh, no, not Michael, no! God, you didn't do it. You hit Michael. What the hell? No, they say saltine. They don't say sardine.
Not the cracker?
But yes, but that's not me either.
Well, you kind of are a little bit of a cracker.
Michael? Michael?
All right, Halloween skit of Halloween 6 on the sink.
What?
Stop, delete that. Looks real shady over there.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Halfway.
All right, cut.
Anything you like?
Their beautiful bodies got me all chubmed out, Allison.
You know what? Fine. Just because your boss, aka your husband, is paying my salary, so I'll do it this one time.
It's like 1,000 little nails just scratching my back right now. You know, my boss ain't gonna like you hillbillies just walking around all over his parking lot like that.
Get it around the man. He's a champion.
Amazing grace, come sit on my face.
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. The Brett Man's right over there. The end is here of the HalloScream Review Series, a venture we set out on way back in July, leading all the way up until the release of Halloween Ends just last, or I guess a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that. Man, we reviewed all 13 Halloween movies. It is time now to officially, Birdie, get our ranking out there of this franchise, our raw ranking, man. Not a tier, but a straight ranking, man. And, man, I don't know how to feel about it. It's changed 4 times since we sat down. Halloween Ends is really throwing things off. I don't know where to put it, but I think I have a good spot, man, and I'm excited to do this, Birdman.
I don't want it to end. Why does it have to end? I've been loving this series so much, and plus I don't want to end on Halloween Ends, so thank God we're finishing this HalloScream Review Series with a Halloween ranking, because if that's the way we had to end it, I would freaking just slam my head against the wall, or let Michael Myers slam my head against the wall, if you know what I mean. Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm excited. This is all good things must come to an end. So what better way to end it than a Halloween ranking? And Brad, even before we even actually, I'm gonna let you do your bajigga-bob here and freaking say who's freaking doing this HalloScream Review Series with us.
Yeah,
and I got some good numbers to share.
Yeah, man. Just like before, HalloScream, like I said, is what we're wrapping up here. Check out these other rankings today or sometime this week or last week or whenever they dropped them. Everybody's kind of on the same page here, and they'll be dropping those soon if they haven't already. So check those out. Our boy Chris Snyder, he's been doing those Letterboxd reviews. He'll be dropping a ranking on there as well.
Yeah, and everybody has done a fantastic job, and you can bet your bottom that we'll do something fun next year, so stay tuned to our social medias for that.
Group,
Brad, so before we get into this ranking, I got some interesting numbers I wanted to share, because I was kind of curious about some averages, and I got some freaking averages. You want to hear them?
I want to hear your averages.
I got all these Rotten Tomato scores from all the Halloween movies we reviewed. if you combine them all together, the franchise averages on Rotten Tomatoes a 4.5.
A
So like
4.5?
a 45%, like 45%.
Oh, okay. 45. I was like, a 4.5%? Damn. Whoa.
No, like,
Okay. So
sorry, I
was gonna
forgot to
slide-
remove the decimal. I forgot to do the decimal. So it's a 45 average for the Halloween franchise.
Okay, so
So
right there, almost smack
poor
dab
to
in the
the
middle.
original. Yes,
Yeah.
so somewhere around the middle. So actually, it's not quite that bad. So IMDb, I did that too, and that came out to a 5.6.
It's a little low, but that's understandable.
Little low, and then Letterbox. What I have here is a 5.4. Actually, no, excuse me.
Damn. Oh.
Excuse me. Letterbox 2.7.
Okay, so that's kind of right in the middle, that average, slightly above average.
Yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
far we're doing pretty good averaging. And so I combined the whole thing, kind of like how we do we're about to do our Fright Night tournament. I got that to a 5.2.
Okay. So right freaking in the middle,
Yes.
man. That's
Yeah,
wow.
so right in the damn middle. So very impressive for as many movies in the Halloween franchise.
Yeah, that's not bad, man. Because some of the franchises could have been they could have been a 4.5%, like probably like the Hellraiser, maybe like that shit. And Friday the 13th, like we love Friday the 13th, but the Rotten Tomato scores are not good for any of them. So yeah, that could have been a disaster. But
No, so
I would say,
wanted to
if I
throw
had to
those
say, I
out
would say
there.
this has nothing to do with anything, but I would think the Nightmare on Elm Street would be the highest because they have like 4 movies that are fresh, I think. But
Okay, yeah, I could tell you what'd be the worst. Friday the
Texas.
13th, which that's criminal, but unfortunately that's how like it is because people don't know how to have fun with them. Except for our good horror community, we're pretty good Friday the 13th fans, but we're not talking about Friday the 13th. That'll come later on that we kind of do that whole series over again. But we're going to do the Halloween ranking right freaking now. So Brad, do you want to go first?
I will, man. I'll start off at number 13, man. And that, no surprises here with this. It's going to be Halloween Resurrection. Not a big deal. This is one that like I almost kind of sometimes have second to last. But I think this most recent rewatch, man, it just did not do anything at all for me. There's not really a lot of good in it. Yeah, it's at the bottom, man.
Thank God that you did that because you had me concerned right before I hit that record button that you were going to put another movie dead last summer than this one. So I'm going to jump on that train for you. So I'm Resurrection as well at my number 13. Same reasons. This doesn't do anything. I pretty much get more pissed off every time I watch it. So that's all the attention I'm going to give it to it. And Chad, I know you love it, but fuck Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, get out of here with that shit, man. Let's get a new identity on that and just have it walk away like Michael Myers in a paramedic outfit. Number 12 for me is this. So this one actually used to be my worst for a long time because 13 Resurrection does have some nostalgia for me because that's the first one I saw in theaters, but it's still bad. But my number 12, in fact, is number 5, Halloween 5. There's not a lot to like about this movie, but at least has Loomis in it. He's crazy as a mofo, but he's fun. Like, he's still there. It's still the same character from the original movie. Jamie Lloyd's in here as well. And there's some decent moments of Halloween atmosphere. There's some good, that laundry chute scene is really fun. There's some good moments with Loomis talking to Myers in the bushes and, him talking about Michael not getting accepted into the University of Hell. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I hate what they did, with the ending of 4 in this movie, but there's a little bit of good to it that put it over Resurrection for me.
Yeah, man. Very good points in there. And you know what? Might as well make it 2 for 2. So my number 12 is also Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Did Michael really get revenge in this movie? I honestly don't think so. He got more revenge and kills than anything. But anyways, the best I can explain this movie, it is 2/3 WTF, 1/3 Halloween movie. And the 1/3 that they do focus on this Halloween movie, they were really good. Like you get some classic Loomis lines, you get some nice shots, of Michael chasing Jamie in the car and the fog and all that. All that is good. And then you get your WTFs like Cookie Woman, Loomis going all ape shit, freaking Rachel dying with scissors, and freaking Tina. Hey, what the hell? So that is why it'll always be that towards the bottom for me. So my number 12 is Halloween 5.
Don't forget about Moist Mikey floating down a river at the beginning of the movie too, with the freaking Deliverance
Fuck
music
off,
playing.
Brad.
Maybe that was just us. Mikey Gets Moist. That's what they originally titled it before the Revenge of Michael Myers came in. Okay, number 11. Number 11. I think we might differentiate here just slightly. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Number 11. This might come as a surprise. A lot of people, this is one of their favorites, but for me, it's not. It's Halloween H2O. And there's two reasons why I have it this low. One being Michael Myers himself. Didn't like the look. I didn't like the shitty ass mask with the big ass eye holes, or any of the other masks for that matter. The alien mask, the freaking CGI, like all of it sucked ass. It didn't really feel that much connected to. I don't know. I didn't like the setting. It didn't feel Halloweenish at all. Like people say Halloween Ends doesn't feel like Halloween. This really doesn't feel like Halloween. It just feels the scream factor really kicked into 9 here. Not quite at 10, but at 9. And it just kind of, it shouldn't have done that. It should have been more like Halloween. And for that reason, I drop it this low. Some good moments with Laurie overall that bump it up, to this point. I really like what they did with her character there. But yeah, I don't ever like it. I never really like watching this one.
All right, man. Do we really just have different opinions on this? Not for this particular one. So my number 11, 3 for 3, is Halloween H2O. The only real big positive thing I can say about it is the third act of Laurie and Michael fighting, because at least they got that's how you're supposed to do it. Halloween Ends. I'm watching you later on. Not really, but just later. But anyways, not important. H2O, it does have its fun moments, but the CGI mask is something you can never forget. Once it's wrench into your brain, you can't forget it. It's just this whole movie is all about bad mask. The original mask was bad, the CGI mask was bad, even freaking Jason Voorhees' mask was bad in this movie. All that was freaking bad. But there are some still good things you can talk about it, and you know what? It's a good background movie. That's the best way I can describe it for Halloween. So my number 11 is Halloween H2O.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the reason, so when I get my number 10 is here instead of 11 for one big thing, and that's Michael Myers. That's the use of Michael Myers in the movie. I really hate the Michael we get in H2O. But in my number 10, which is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, we have badass George P. Wilbur running around. You're smiling over there, Birdie. I know it. We're still going down the same path. I know it.
Okay, continue, take of it. I'm sorry.
Michael's badass in this movie. I think, the story sucks. This is probably the worst story in the whole movie, the whole franchise. It's all over the place. It doesn't make any sense. There's no cohesiveness to it. There's nothing about it that really remotely connects this movie to the original film, other than the stuff they forced it to, like, Loomis and Tommy being in the movie, and it being at Haddonfield. But the rest of it, man, it just, whatever. But Michael Myers is badass, and we have some good atmosphere in this movie, man. You get some good Halloween vibes. You get some a new score flavor to it. Even like I'm talking about the theatrical cut with that. And, I like it for that. And it's just a fun ride. I put this on way more than I do H2O, just because I can just appreciate it for Michael Myers and see him kill some people. We get some of the better kills. And yeah, it's a good time, man.
Hell yeah, man. So you want to take a quick guess what my number 10 is?
I already know, dude. I already know.
All right. 4 for 4. My number 10 is also Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And the preferred version I pick is the theatrical version, just because, again, we get a badass Myers. We get some very interesting kills. I love the whole tone and atmosphere of the movie. It's just like Brad said, the story absolutely sucked. And I just put an idea in my head. If we could just combine this movie with Halloween Ends, take the story from Ends and the look of Myers, the use of Myers, and the kills of Myers in Halloween 6, you almost get just a perfect Halloween movie than the original. So it's just sad. But anyways, Halloween 6, I do have a lot more appreciation this time around. I used to have this second to last. No longer. I could have a good time with this. For both versions, actually, I can have a good time with this movie. So my number 10 is Halloween 6. So Brad, would you please bring something different to the table?
I'm going to try to, man. Surely we're about to diverge into two different places here, but number 9 at this point. Okay, number 9. And I think from this point on, these are all movies I really like. At least, these are movies that I could really get behind and have a good time with. 6, I can to an extent, but I really there's a big step between my number 10, my number 9, and so on. And number 9 for me is Halloween Kills from the newest trilogy. And I do appreciate this movie more now than I did a year ago when it came out. And maybe that'll continue to grow because, again, like I said with 6, Michael's badass here. We get this whole movie of him just tearing shit up all night on Halloween. And there's a lot of fun to be had with that. There's some weird shit in it that didn't need to be there that kind of took it down. There's really no story to it whatsoever. They do a lot of questionable things with the legacy characters that pulls it down to this point. But yeah, it's one that I dig it, man. Badass flashback sequence at the beginning of the movie, some badass scenery, some good cinematography, some of the best like moments, snapshots in the whole franchise with Flamin' Ass Michael, and the rampage at the end, and the score again is awesome in this movie, man.
Dude, man, very, very good points. I'll be talking about Halloween Kills right now. I might. So my number 9 is Halloween Ends. I almost got you. We finally differentiate. My number 9 is Halloween Ends. And just the main thing with me of why it's this damn low is just the whole third act and just the whole like build up with this movie. And we're going to end it with this movie? Like, come on, man. Like, this is like one of the this is like we're gonna end an era of Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. We're gonna end it like that. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's just once again, in the David Gordon Green trilogy, it's just a lot of missed opportunities. With Allison, with Lindsay Wallace, even Frank Hawkins didn't get used a lot. He was just too busy about picking cherry blossoms or something like that. I guess that's just old turn slang for getting your woo on. But if we could look past all that, there are some good things about this movie with the Corey storyline. There are some really good kills once they actually get to killing and all that. So I'll just leave it at that right now. Hopefully this movie will grow on me. So my number 9 is Halloween Ends.
So in other words, would you compare ending the franchise in this way to ending Undertaker's WrestleMania streak with Brock Lesnar?
Absolutely. No, honestly, absolutely. That's like a great comparison.
It's just like, what the fuck, man? Of all the things we could have done here. All right, number 8 for me. Again, this is the oddball out, but it's Halloween 3. The Season of the Witch. This one, honestly, I think it could be higher. It's just I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for Michael. I'm a sucker for these traditional like Halloween stories that we get. So it plops all the way down to number 8. Again, it's not a bad movie. I think I gave it a 4 in our review, and I still stand by that. I really enjoy it, and that's the problem with this top half of my list is I really enjoy all of these movies. So it's hard to put them in order. But this one's where it is. I think if I had to pick a spot for it, it'd be right here. We get new characters, a whole new story. We get Dr. Dan Chalice in here, who's the GOAT. If you're ranking top 5 characters in the franchise, buddy, Dr. Dan's in there for sure. He's having a good time there too. He's got his 40s in his hands, and he's going to be there with this freaking mustache and all of that shit. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time. Really enjoy it. I just like the fresh story here, man. I like the idea of these masks that are freaking going to kill every kid in the country. It's just kind of really fucked up and dark, and it's interesting. And the score, again, I know the score is a high point for all these movies, so maybe I'll quit saying that, but it's good. Some good Halloween vibes in this. It's a fun time, man.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun, and hopefully I'll get to talk. Not hopefully, but I'll get to talk about it here in a couple of minutes. Just depends on where I have it. But my number 8, what I have, is Halloween Kills. And this one actually has warmed up to me. Like with our latest watch party we did, that's where like it went from like a 3 to like a 3.75. So I was actually quite surprised that it made one last little swoop in my ranking. But man, how can you ignore such great practical effects from Christopher Nelson in this movie? Like, seriously. And Michael's a badass. We get our possibly the best score of all time in the entire franchise. And this, so all those are so high up there. But again, I'm going to go back to that one word in this trilogy: disappointment. Just because we didn't have a story, we were too focused on the kills part. So this movie, with it's a Halloween movie by itself, amazing movie. However, this is the sequel that its job is to get you from point B to C. It does not really land on that, and that hurts. And the whole hospital scene, big old WTF of what the hell's going on. And again, we bring back legacy characters. They didn't do shit to put over the newer characters. So this movie's disappointing. So my number 8 is Halloween Kills.
It's an expansion pack, dude. I mean, that's all it is. I meant to say that earlier, but it's an expansion pack to 18. Number 7 may come as a surprise. But it's one that I do. This might be one I watch more than. This is one I watch definitely more like in my top 5 of watches. I don't know how to explain that, but I watch it more than most of the movies in the franchise. And that's Halloween 2007 from Rob Zombie. I really do love the opening of this movie. The first half of it, I'm really drawn into it. It's crazy. It's weird. It's a whole different take on the character and this whole Halloween story. And I really love it for that. Just going down this journey of a different alternate universe. And I think it kicks off one of the better timelines in this franchise. But the only thing that draws it back for me is the second half of this movie. Who says that? I don't know. Me, I do. Because it just feels so generic. It feels like a cheaper version. Well, not cheaper per se, but not as heartfelt version of the original movie. And that's all it is. It's just you cut from 878, you put it here in 2007, and the characters aren't as intriguing. I don't think they're not as likable. Michael's badass. He's freaking dope in this thing. He's freaking tearing people up, and all that. And there's some good shots. It's good cinematography and all that stuff. It's really cool. But I just feel like it's so generic at this point that I would rather watch 78. I'll watch the first half of this and then I'll be like, all right, let's go ahead and watch Halloween 78 because it's better. It's way better from dialogue standpoint and everything. And then I just feel like the ending of this goes on forever. This movie could have been about 20 minutes shorter, I think, and it would have served us pretty well. It's weird. It's just a mess because it's just two different movies. You have this really, it starts off and it's telling one story, and then the second half of it is completely different. So it just feels really weird. So for that reason, it's right here at number 7.
Like Rob Zombie Halloween, I'm surprised you got that one pretty. Like I wouldn't say low at this point, but I'm surprised you have it at that one. I thought you would have it a little bit higher up. So I'm actually.
Well, let me tell you something. Yeah, if this whole movie was kind of followed the beat of the first half of it and told its own story, it might be top 4 or top 3. But yeah, it just it loses it for me at the halfway point. I'm sorry, I just wanted to let you know.
No, you're good, man. Freaking, this is our last time getting in this Halloween talk, so we got to throw everything out there, man. So we're at number 7, or I'm at number 7. My number 7, and this is the point now where I like we have some like I really enjoy these movies. Like these are like the top of the crop of the movies that I will always go back and revisit more than the bottom half of my list. So here we go. My number 7, we'll kick it off with Halloween 2 from 1981. So I like the hospital setting. I think it's really good at especially just the way they presented the hospital of just like being all dark and barely use of any light. It's so creepy and plays onto that factor of like hospitals are really damn creepy at times. It just makes you really uncomfortable. If they were going to add freaking Michael Myers into that mix, oh my gosh, dude, like such a great idea. But it's just the main problem with this movie for me is the whole middle act. Way too slow. I feel like they could just do some more interesting things with it, but they just don't. They just are really, really probably more slower than freaking Dick Warlock's walk. If we're going to talk about how freaking slow it is, man. But the third act is really good. Dr. Loomis, epic legend as always. And then, so I would put number 7 is Halloween 2.
Good pick, my man. Good pick. I like it. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Number 6 for me. Okay. These next 3 can move around a lot. The next time we do this ranking, they might be in completely different order. But right now, I feel good with it. Number 6 for me is Halloween Ends, the newest one. And the reason it is this high, even though it's kind of like H2O in a way, it doesn't really feel like a Halloween movie, but it also I think it does have good Halloween atmosphere. I think, at least at times, I wouldn't necessarily say Halloween atmosphere, but it has good atmosphere in general. And a large part of that is because of the score that John Carpenter and the boys put in there. But I think this is one of the best stories in the franchise. I think it's really intriguing. And I understand your problems with it completely. I have the same problems with it not fitting with the other two movies and underuse of certain characters and the ending being shoehorned in there and kind of tacked on. But I just can't help when I watch this movie to be so intrigued by it and just really just having a good time with it the whole time. And everything they did with Corey's character, I really enjoyed it. His scene at the and I won't spoil it, but the whole sequence there at the junkyard was fantastic. One of the coolest scenes in the trilogy, I think, and yeah, I appreciate it for that. So yeah, it's fresh, it's weird, but man, it just has a certain vibe about it that I really get into. And what I really like about it is it's the most serious movie of these three. It's the one that has the most serious tone, more serious tone. It's more mature film than the other two movies, Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018. There's no weird jokes in it or unnecessary callbacks. It's all just it's got a darker tone to it all the way throughout. And I appreciate it for that. And for that reason, I really think it might be my favorite in the trilogy, but I'm not sure yet. So I don't want to completely jump the gun yet on that. But for now, it's right here. We're number 6, number 7, number 6.
Number 6. All right, man. And again, I respect your opinion. I just damn the original, damn different. That's all I gotta say, because you are a sucker for different when it gets to a certain point in a franchise and all that,
and stories
and
too. I like a good story.
Yeah, but dude, I agree with you. The story is absolutely amazing. It's just I was always laugh because you keep apologizing. It's like I was like, sorry that we're different, Bertie. I'm like, don't be sorry. This is what YouTubing is all about. We're allowed to have different opinions. We're just respectful about it. We've been very damn respectful about it, even though I will fuck your couch the next time I get down there. But anyways, nah, I'm messing, man. But it is. I'm interested to see 5 years from now to see where this movie lands for the both of us, in our ranking.
I had it at 4. When I first made the list, it was at 4. And I'm like, God, let's not get too excited. Let's take it back. Let's give it some more time, and then we'll see. But yeah, right now it's 6.
Well, there's one person I know of that possibly has it better than the original. I won't say their name, but just the way they're talking about it right now. Oh my God. But anyways, let's see here. Number 6 for me. And number 6 and 5 can go back and forth. Kind of like how you said, Bray, your next 3 can go back and forth. My 5 and 6 will go back and forth. Just depending on the mood. My number 6 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. Kind of like you said, I love the beginning set, the first half of this movie, because we're at a point now where we're doing something refreshing and different. And I wish they would have kept doing it. It's just like you said, the second act. I have a good time with the second act, but you are exactly spot on. It's so generic, too generic enough where they do everything from almost the exact same detail with the third act. They do more with Laurie and Michael. But I love Tyler Mane as Michael Myers, and the whole mask is badass. One of my top 3 favorite masks of all time. Love it. Hopefully to own a replica of it someday to hang right behind me here. So I just love it. Scout Taylor Compton is my Laurie Strode. I know everybody loves Jamie Lee Curtis, and she opened the gateway and all that. It's just, to me, her interpretation of Laurie Strode is just more relatable, something I could gravitate towards. So I'll just say leave it at that. I'll let all the reviews just take care of it. My number 6 is Halloween from Rob Zombie.
Excellent choice, man. Okay, top 5 time, man. We cracked the top 5, and this one's again slight edge over ends right now. Just right now, that's Halloween 2018. The reason I give it that is because I just feel I've had more time to marinate with it. I know when this movie first came out, I was really pumped about it. I really enjoyed it. I saw it in theaters 3 times. I've seen it many times since then, so that gives it the nod over ends for me, because I know exactly where it stands for me. And while it's not perfect, and there's some things I wish they would have done a little bit differently, I think it's a good follow up to 78. It was nice. It was a good reintroduction to the character of Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, and you bring Sartain in, you have all this fun, and they took it seriously. I do, like I said, the tone's not what I'm looking for necessarily. There's some weird comedy in there with Julian and some of the other stuff that happens and some of the dialogue throughout. But I think it's a good starting point. And they do enough in there to make Michael legit again and kind of make him feel like the same Michael from 78. And the biggest part of that is James Jude Courtney. And, he knocks it out of the park. I think he's hands down the best Michael we have since 78. And yeah, that's the biggest thing about it, man. And you get some good kills in there. Like I said, a couple things I would have done differently, but yeah, it's a really solid entry in the franchise.
Alrighty, man. Damn, I can't believe it. That's like something that I'm really surprised that you have it at that particular spot. Just for me, that is. My number 5. I'll give you 3 hints.
Oh,
yeah, I was like, come on, Brad, work with me.
I was looking
here.
at your hand. I wasn't looking. Yeah, Halloween 3, dude. I bet that's
Yeah,
what
it's got to be Halloween 3 because it has like my freaking role model in this movie, Dr. freaking Chalice, man. When I first saw this movie, yeah, it was so weird and I just didn't enjoy it and all. Like I enjoyed it, but it's just like this movie is just so weird. But what kept me invested the entire time was Dr. Chalice. Just seeing all the freaking cheese that he freaking puts in there, getting with young women. Freaking just, he can get any chick that he wants. He's the freaking best detective out there. Like, it's just so crazy. And then just with more rewatches, I appreciate this movie a lot more. Very great practical effects. Very good score from our boy John Carpenter. Actually really dig the story. It's actually one of the darker stories in the horror genre that gets overshadowed a lot, along with our boy Cochran, or I'll just call him Paperboy. So I love this movie. So much. I'll always make sure I make it a goal to play it every October. So my number 5 is Halloween 3.
Okay, number 4 for me. This one is going to be. Let me just. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. Halloween 4 for me is Halloween 4. This is the introduction of the Jamie Lloyd storyline, and while I initially had this one a little bit lower on the list, I had it at 6. I've swapped it with Ends, because it is. I don't know. It's full of Halloween atmosphere, so I really appreciate it for that. And Dr. Loomis is kind of in his prime at this point in the movie. He's not completely off the rails yet. He's still got some of that more, subtle stuff going on within him. Some good dialogue from him. Some good talking up Michael within this movie. I really appreciate that. Introduction of Sheriff Meeker's badass. And of course, you love Jamie and Rachel together, man. Freaking running from Michael on Halloween night. This one could be higher if they'd had Michael Myers correctly done in this movie, but we have another shitty looking Myers in this one. Again, the mask has grown on me over the years, but it still sucks. I mean, let's just be real. There's no way to, I don't like this look of Michael at all, but I can get around it and have a good time with it just because it's just, you have some epic scenes, man, the rooftop chase and all this other stuff. And the rednecks and all the, Ted Hollister getting blown away by the bushes. And yeah, it's a good time, man. It's a classic Halloween movie. It's one I watched a lot as a kid and I still love it today, man.
Oh man, excellent pick, man. Really excellent pick. So my number 4, and this is the part now where these last 4 Halloween movies I absolutely love, and I can freaking watch these movies over and over and over again. I really I have such respect for these 4 Halloween movies. So my number 4 is Halloween 2018. Again, this is a great, pretty much the great prime example of what a requel is supposed to do. It's supposed to take stuff from the original movie, but we put it into this kind of like almost brand new world. And just and throw new characters in that kind of help with the legacy character. That legacy character mainly being Laurie at this point. And I don't mind her over the topness. A lot of people have her problems with her being way too over the top of honcho with guns and traps and all that. But again, it's like I explained, everybody deals with trauma differently. And this one I could kind of understand more from the H2O one. Again, it's just different timings, like just the time we live in. I can understand where you want to freaking lock up with guns and traps and all that and try to protect yourself. Totally understand that. Just the thing that and great blueprint of a trilogy, of like a great first movie into your trilogy too, and you have so many of these possibilities, especially with Allison. Like, oh my gosh, Annie Matchek's first movie, beautiful. I understand her scream's not good, but again, this is her first horror movie. You gotta let it slide on that. But the main problem I have with this movie, Why do we have to have freaking Danny McBride right in this Halloween franchise? Why? Dadgummit, why? Way too many jokes that really just overshadow some of the more serious tones of this movie. I'm looking at you, Julian Singh. Like, it's just like it really tones it down. Like, if we took the Danny McBride comedy stuff out, or like really reduce it, this movie would definitely get a spot higher onto this ranking. So my number 4 is Halloween 2018.
Good selection, Birdie. Number 3, man. You guys may have noticed that we haven't mentioned this movie yet, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And usually it's at the bottom of everybody's list, but for me, it's in the top 3, man. This is one. I think this is the pinnacle of the. This is the pinnacle of a lot of things, really. It's first off, it's the pinnacle of the Laurie and Michael brother and sister storyline. I think this is the best exploration of that at any point in the franchise. These two movies together, but specifically here, this movie, Rob Zombie's first movie was very much about Michael. This one's very much about Laurie, and that kicks off the best exploration of trauma that we've seen in the whole franchise, in my opinion. I think this is the best exploration of Laurie's character. I think it goes from, she's kind of a cheerful, nice person in Halloween, the first one in 2007, and then 2 years later, or 1 year, whichever, depending on which cut you watch, she's completely different. She's been impacted and from the events of the first movie, which makes sense. You're not going to be the same person after something like that happens to you. She's not likable in this movie at all, which I know it turns a lot of people away, but it's very much by design to show that and drive that point home, that she's just, she's at this point, she hates her best friend Annie and all this stuff. They resent each other because of those events. And I think Brackett is a huge highlight in this movie, man. I think this is one of the he's one of my favorite characters, with Brad Dourif here freaking rocking it out, man, then with his freaking ponytail and everything, tearing shit up, getting one of those sticky buns on the way in. I don't care. I love him in this. I love the feel of this movie. It feels really dirty and gritty, and the way it was shot on film with the grains and all that stuff, it's fantastic. I like that a lot. Michael, very realistic approach here, is grounded. He's He's Hobo Myers. He's got his beard. He doesn't get his hair cut. He doesn't go to Just for Men and get haircuts, and he doesn't do any of that stuff, man. So I like that. And yeah, man, I think the ending, especially in the director's cut, is a perfect way to end the story by killing off Laurie, Loomis, and Michael all together in this little perfect triangle. I think it's beautiful, man.
Hell yeah, man, dude. I love support for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I really do, man. Hopefully I get to talk about it. My number 3 is going to be Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And dadgummit, he returns in a very awesome way, especially with that opening scene in the freaking hospital. Freaking just diving the thumb into that one guy. So awesome. And of course, I love Jamie Lloyd and Rachel. Just a sister dynamic. And plus, we have not one final girl, but 2 final girls. I think that's really cool, especially at this point of the franchise. And of course, like you already said, Brad, Dr. Loomis, the freaking highlight and at his prime of the character right here. Just with his quotes, it's like, Michael Myers is coming in this town. Like, oh man, it's so good, man. It's so awesome. Of course, I love the redneck police force. One of my favorite police forces in the entire horror genre. Too bad they freaking killed the wrong person. But all of it is great. It's just oh man, but yeah, freaking the Reverend down by the river. He didn't sing that. I sung that. But I like that scene too. There's so many good things to talk about here. It's just I wish it was a little bit longer, and I wish we could get Michael right from the appearance. Like Brad, the mask is growing on me. It's just I can't get it's just like I get distracted every damn time. I'm even getting distracted right now thinking about those damn hockey pads. Like, what the fuck, dude? Man? Like, why do we have to do that? Why can't we just get a guy that's just so freaking bulky and all that? Why do we have to do hockey pads to do it? So it's just, that's what's disappointing. I wish we could do Michael better. So my number 3 is Halloween 4.
Good pick, my man. Good pick. It's a doozy, man. Okay. Number 2 for me, man. This one is probably not going to be topped at any point. And that's Halloween 2, 1981. I'm open-minded to it being replaced, but I just don't see it, and I'll tell you why. It's because at no point, this is the only film in the entire franchise. This is the only sequel that feels really connected to that first movie, 78, and tone and atmosphere and the way Michael is. Everything about it really fits so nicely. And Halloween 78 is such a big step above all these other movies in the franchise for me. So this one being that closely connected to it, it's right there with it. It's an expansion pack, like I said, of 78, but in a really good way. And I love it for that. I love the atmosphere in this thing. I love the dark hallways of the hospital, Michael looming around. I understand the second act slow. And yeah, there's definitely movies on this list that are better than this, that tell better stories than this. But because it actually does still feel like that same night, I just can't put this any lower. And also, it's the most nostalgic movie in this bunch for me because it's the one I watched the most as a kid, because it was less scary than the first one, but still was also badass, and it had Laurie Strode in there. Not as much as the first one did, but she's still in there. She's having a good time with her wig on, and she's creeping around that hospital just as much. I think it has a really good third act in it, man. Once it does get past that middle act, that lull in the middle there, that chase scene with Michael running around the hospital and getting blown away by Loomis is fantastic. And I think for me, there's a lot of ways you can look at this franchise, but for my personal taste, my perfect franchise is 1 and 2. You take 1, you take 2, you have this awesome ending with Loomis and Michael going out together. Laurie gets out the back door. Everybody's happy. And that's the end. Mr. Sandman jarring out, freaking playing loud with the speakers on, having a good time. That's what I like to see.
Oh man, dude, and I don't blame you when nostalgia plays a major part of things. Like, I don't blame anybody for having particular movies up there, so I do not blame you for that.
Yeah, and my favorite part about it is when I'm watching 78 and I'm watching it on Halloween, I'm like, oh man, when we get to the third act of that, and I get a little sad. I'm like, man, this movie's about to end. And I remind myself, no, it's got more story to tell after this. You put in Halloween 2 right after it, and you've just continued this same old night right out to the end, man. Right out to the end.
Easily one of the best back-to-back movies to watch out there in the horror genre. Absolutely agree with that. And my number 2, and Brad, you're freaking lucky I don't have this movie at number 1. Because we would be losing a lot of subscribers if we probably still might. You know what? We still might, but you know what? Don't give a shit because I love this movie. I'm a supporter of this movie. My number 2 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I was so curious how they were going to handle everything because they have nothing to follow, like from the story perspective and all that. Like, they're pretty much saying, Rob Zombie, this made a lot of money. You can do whatever you want, just as long as Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are in it. And he goes, "You got it, boss." And then he just creates fucking work, man, like magic, man. Like I was just so just ooh and ah. Like, the cinematography is so underappreciated in this movie. It's like absolutely fantastic. And if you say that Rob Zombie is not a talented director, please watch this movie in a different eye, because this movie is the one that proved to me that he's a very damn good director. Not the best writer, but a very damn good director. And that's probably much one of my few negatives is the writing. We still getting all the whole like fuck and all that. Like, there's still some problems with it, but Brad pretty much knocked it out of the park with Laurie Strode. And just her side of trauma with PTSD handled really damn nicely. I love the hospital stuff we get at the beginning of it. This is the most brutal Michael we get right before Halloween Kills comes out, because that's a damn brutal Miles too. Again, like you said, Sheriff Brackett, phenomenal. This was the movie to me that proved that Brad Dourif can really act when given a very damn good role and story to tell. But my main negative is the handle of Dr. Loomis. If they would have done the same Dr. Loomis they did in the Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, we could be having problems with this with me and what my number 1 Halloween movie is. I'm telling you, it's just because of that alone. If they would have gotten that Loomis right, oh man, wouldn't you guys be pissed off? But I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I will defend it to the day I die. So my number 2 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Hell yeah, man, dude. I agree. With all the love you have for it and the negatives too, man. Number 1, man, I mean, it's the same for both of us. I don't want to steal your thunder, Birdie. You just want to go on 3?
Yeah.
It's
Halloween from 1978. So you first, Brad. Why do you have this movie at number 1?
Man, it's one of my favorite movies. It is my favorite horror movie of all time. I could talk all day on it. I did in the review. We did the review for it. You know my full thoughts there. But I love the simplicity of this. That's the biggest thing, man. It's scary still. It's got, one of the most terrifying, at least growing up, I've seen it now 1,000 times, so it doesn't scare me as, really anymore. But, one of the first few times I saw this, I was terrified by the third act, man. That third act was intense. The setup, man, the dangling of the carrots, the whole movie of what's going to happen that night. It really works well. This whole, the first two acts, you're getting this set up from Loomis about Michael. You're seeing him behind bushes and shit. So is Laurie. You're seeing the stalking take place, all that stuff, and it's just like this time bomb that's going to explode once the nightfall comes on Halloween. And I like that. And it's really all about the. Again, it's the budget was so low, so the movie's so simple. Like you don't have to be in a certain mood to watch it. I could watch this movie at any time, because it's not super deep. Like it's definitely still has some themes to it and everything like that for sure. But it's not something that you have to sit there and think too hard about or anything crazy. It's just it's a good ride you can take. I like the characters in this movie. I really like Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie as Laurie Strode. I think she does a good job. I think this is, she really kind of paves the way for the final girl here, sets up a lot of tropes and stuff and whatnot. So I really like it, man. And I could say more, but I'm just, why would
you don't like it? You love it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Oh man,
Dr. Loomis is badass. I'll end it with that.
Yeah, man, dude, especially Dr. Loomis and his freaking speech. Like, because that speech alone created a horror icon, and not only a horror icon in Michael Myers, but he created a franchise just with the description of Michael Myers and all that. And it's just, and I do have my one little like nitpick of a problem, and that's Annie Brackett and Sheriff Brackett. Like, they're just First off, Sheriff Brackett's creepy as fuck in this movie. Let's just not get it out of the way. Just randomly scaring people. And then Annie is just, oh my gosh, she's freaking annoying. And just that's honestly not, I'm pretty sure that's not how a freaking a high school teen will act during that time. I could be wrong, but I just still really like it. But I respect the hell out of this movie right here for what it's done to the horror genre. About it, just cracked the door even more to like the world of the slasher world of the horror genre. It starts with this movie of Halloween, and I know it gets a lot of influence from Black Christmas, but man, this movie did so much better with some of the little details and all that. And John Carpenter bring a score that will be known for the rest of time with that original opening score. One of the best of all time. And just his inclusion of these scores really enhances this movie. I never imagined in my whole lifetime that a score would scare me more than the actual villain. This movie does that for me, especially on first watch. Like Brad can tell you, I was jumping every time they go, like I was jumping every time. And you know what? Mission accomplished for that. And it also brings our final girl of Laurie. She's not one of my favorite final girls of all time, but I respect what she's done, and I respect her bringing the full title and the full trope of a final girl that she brings into this movie. So again, I could talk about this movie all day along with Brad, but we got our review for that. So my number one is Halloween.
Good choice, man. Very, very, very surprised by that. Not at all, actually. But
so you really thought I was going to put Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as my number one?
No. But I'm glad it was 2, man. That's badass. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be pissed off, but it's our list. We're not right, so we're just freaking voicing our opinions on here, man. So yeah, that's our Halloween ranking. Brad, are you finally ready to close that door to HalloScream?
Let's close it.
Man, before we close it, we just want to say, guys, thank you so much for making HalloScream Review Series as successful as it is. It's heartwarming with all the positive feedback, and I think this review series actually has just opened the door more to us for Good Real Hunting of what we want to present things with this channel, like the style of reviews and all that. Y'all seem really like just coming in to like these particular reviews on how we're doing them, and we're going to plan on doing more of this in the future as well. So HalloScream Review Series, thank you so much for what you've done, and thank you to everybody that's participated in it, and more importantly, you guys for supporting it by sharing it and liking it, and lastly, the skits are fun, man.
Yeah, dude, they were a freaking blast.
So, guys, what did you all think about our Halloween ranking? Do you agree with our list, or are you calling us crazy and we suck because our list is so different from your all's? Let us know all that. Even let us know your Halloween ranking in the comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok. Those links are for you to find right down below.
Abso-freaking-lutely, and be sure to check with our buddies of the HalloScream Review Series as their Halloween rankings videos are dropped or have been dropped. All those links will be in that description down below as well. And how can you support Good Real Hunting? Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe, because we are finally on that quest to 1K. As of before this recording, we need 99 more people before we get to that lovely 1K. And you can do that by liking and sharing and ringing that bell, ding ding ding, so you all know when the next set of Good Real Hunting content is up and ready.